Found a new button. Welcome back to World Top... No. What server are we on? Alliance! Welcome back to Alliance SMP, everybody. Can you tell I'm a tad bit frazzled today? For many reasons. First of all, I totally put off making this video because I started playing a different game instead. If you follow me on Twitch, you know I've been playing Cult of the Lambs non-stop since Halloween. I cannot stop playing that game, and it makes me doing anything on any of the SMPs I'm on practically impossible because I just want to keep playing that video game. But I know what I want to do today, and so I'm going to force myself to do it. Today, we're building a stage for Shrek the Musical. Now you may be asking, Chaos, what is Shrek the Musical? Now, obviously, it's a musical for the movie Shrek, but I'm not making Shrek canon to Alliance SMP. Oh, no. That would be too easy. We are only doing the musical because we are a Greco-Roman inspired faction. And how can we Greco-Roman without a little bit of stage? Okay, pause. Originally, I was going to take you all with me, explaining the plot of Shrek and how it came to be and its connection to just their overall animation world in general, while we found a spot to build the Shrek the Musical stage. That conversation lasted approximately 20 minutes. We found a cute little spot over here just on the corner behind the Emperor's Dome and not too far away from Fuzz's place. However, I'm not going to subject you guys to listening to my rambles about just incoherent nonsense regarding Shrek and it's how awesome it is. Instead, y'all are going to hear about that while we build. So the plot of the Shrek movie goes according to the following. There's this ogre who loves living alone in his nice isolated swamp. However, one day he wakes up and there's fairy tale creatures flooding his area. He quickly finds out that this is caused by the local lord of the land, Lord Farquaad, who has decided he hates fairy tale creatures and just wants them gone. And apparently the best course of action for that is to just send them off to Shrek's swamp. Shrek is extremely unhappy with the decision and decides to march off to Lord Farquaad's castle and complain to him. Donkey, a magical talking donkey, decides to tag along because he loves road trips. Shrek is not happy about this. When Shrek arrives at the castle, it is weirdly quiet around. Even the queue lines and the lines to get into shops and areas are completely abandoned. It kind of feels like an empty theme park. Everything is just a facade and nothing is real. They make their way up to the castle proper, and there they discover a giant fight going on. Apparently an arena tournament has been occurring because Lord Farquaad needs a knight in his service. You see, Lord Farquaad cannot become king until he marries a princess, and after asking the magic mirror who should he marry to see all the magical and beautiful princesses of the land, he settles on Fiona, a princess trapped in a tower for reasons he doesn't bother to listen to. Shrek defeats all the knights in the arena, and Lord Farquaad says, "You will go find my princess," and in exchange for that, he will remove all the fairy tale creatures from Shrek's swamp. It's important to note that Lord Farquaad's appearance and his height, because he is a very short man, was meant to be kind of a jab at one of the Disney executives. Much of what Shrek is poking fun of the Disney animation era at that time. So Shrek and Donkey set off on a quest to rescue Fiona from the tower. When they get there, they realize that the dragon floating around has been killing all the knights that came to rescue her earlier. So they make a plan of just avoiding the dragon completely. The two of them split up. Donkey ends up meeting up with the dragon regardless, and the dragon somehow falls in love with Donkey. That's a movie 2 problem. And Shrek puts on a helmet and meets Fiona. Fiona does not know that Shrek is an ogre. She thinks he's a knight there to save her, and he must remove his helmet so they may kiss. Fiona is desperate for her knight's kiss. Fiona needs true love's kiss because the reason she was trapped in that tower was because she is cursed. Cursed that whenever the sun sets, she turns into a hideous, ugly monster, an ogre herself. When Fiona realizes that Shrek is an ogre, she panics and breaks down, saying this is not how the story goes. The prince is supposed to save the princess, and they are supposed to fall in love, and that is that. But that's not happening. Shrek promises to take Fiona to her love, but the journey there will take more than a day, and Fiona cannot travel at night. Donkey ends up finding out about Fiona's curse, and in their conversation, Shrek overhears the part where she's insulting being an ogre. He thinks it's about him. The two of them had been getting close on their journey, almost love itself, but when he hears what she's saying about how ogres appear to her, he simply cuts himself off from those feelings, and the rest of the journey is made in anger. Eventually, they make their way to the palace. Fiona is handed off for her knight, But Donkey realizes something is wrong. Shrek did love Fiona, and if he wants to be with her, wants to talk to her, and realize what this curse is, he has to turn around and stop their marriage. Shrek bursts into the castle, yelling, "I object," and in the final moments the sun sets, Fiona's curse is revealed. Lord Farquaad tries to kill the princess because why would anyone want to marry an ogre? As he is putting on the crown and demanding that the people around him execute the ogres, the dragon bursts through the window, Donkey riding on her back, and the dragon eats Lord Farquaad. Fiona and Shrek run off and get married to each other in the swamp, with the fairy tale creatures in attendance. The musical follows this plot, but it adds some extra scenes and context to what is going on around them. Shrek is shown as a child with his parents telling him, "You are 7, it is time to go off into the world alone. It's a great, wide, beautiful world, but not for you. An ogre is always alone, an ogre is always in pain." When Donkey asks Shrek what would he be if not an ogre, Shrek gets to have a song about who he would be: a knight, a soldier, a hero, a poet, a Viking. Someone worth respect and honor. Everything an ogre cannot be. Fiona gets a song about waiting for the day her fairy tale book will come true, waiting for the prince. She knows every chapter and every line exactly how the story should go. But we know that's not how it's going to be for her. The knight coming to save her is not a prince, but someone who just wants to be left alone in the swamp and with a talking donkey instead of a noble steed. People talk about the musical like it's a joke, because it is a Shrek the Musical moment, but it takes itself seriously in all aspects that it needs to. It's still a funny and humorous show, but one that doesn't hesitate to say, this story is more than about a princess waiting for her fairy tale to come true. And we're done. Well, not really. We still haven't really done the backstage area too much, but we did do the big old scene of Shrek being introduced out of the keep out sign, and we have like a zombie Cleo head we just were floating around. Might as well use it. I tried doing a thing with layering armor stands to give like a green vest, white shirt look. It's not perfect, but it's the best I can do. I'm still fairly new to armor stands, and I think it looks cute. As long as you don't look at the back. For the stage, I decided to do some tough and mossy cobble mostly, and then over here we have a good old-fashioned muddy swamp with some dirt and skulk because I thought it looked pretty, and it matched the lighting used in the production pictures I was staring at. There's always going to be some minor details I want to get done, but honestly, I'm liking how this turns out. It's something I want to come back to and mess around with more in the future, but like, I've always joked since the minute I started this SMP that I was going to make Shrek the Musical canon. Don't ask how I got to that decision. It's just one of those things that my brain latches onto. But you may have seen in the clip that Fuzz and Phantom were online helping me build this just a little bit. They're helping me decide the edge of the stage and how exactly I want it to look. They did have to leave because we were not making progress, but I did decide afterwards I was going to do this cute little backstage thing where we had a fake facade, of course, with entrances for the actors to get in on, and then behind it is going to be the backstage wall that will eventually lead into the production area. Once I stop being poor or decide on a look that is not extremely expensive. I don't know, I haven't really ever been to an outside stage before. Most of the stages I've ever worked at or performed in have been inside, so trying to build one without walls, it's a new challenge for me. Honestly, I think this has been a good episode. I know we didn't do much, I just ranted about Shrek for a while, but what it is, you know? I enjoyed it, and maybe next time we're on here I can finally get to work on my totally not at all secret base. No, there's nothing beneath the outhouse. It's totally fine. Don't worry about it. But I'll see y'all then, and goodbye.